Hi everyone, welcome to the Scraps to Treasures collaboration that it's like an open collab, but there are some regulars. There's about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 regulars. Maria's Miscellany is hosting. I think she's co-hosting with someone else, but I know it through Maria. Now I've been trying to play along, but I missed July, and I really wanted to do August, but I missed that too. I was busy with house stuff. Anyway, I seem to be on a bookmarks kick for September, so I did make some bookmarks, and I used this cup of tea stamp set and the dies, but where my scraps came in is just basically cardstock, like here. And my starting point was this shiny piece of, I can't really call it cardboard or cardstock, but it's like a thin cardboard that comes in something. I don't know what it came in, but it was 8.5 by 11-ish. So I already cut it and made some backings for bookmarks, or insides, because some of them I backed and made them even thicker, but I'll show you those that I did. And then I die cut out of several different colors of cardstock, and I used scrap pieces to do that, and that one's about done, so I'm gonna put it in the bin here. So with that, I tried to do something. Now this one is not a scrap of paper. This was not either. I used one piece of white cardstock about this size. In fact, here it is. To die cut one cup. I did another one, but I did it out of cardstock. I stamped on cardstock. Some tea bag tags and some lemons. So I still can use the rest of that for something else. So here's one of the tea bags. I stamped up Starry Sky. This paper I've had from Stampin' Up. It's in their annual catalog called Tea Boutique, but I really haven't used it enough, so I did use some of that. And this particular paper, let me get out the papers I used. I used the lemons. This one cuts pretty much nicely for a thin bookmark. So that's what I did. It's a little bit less than an inch. On another one, I did this, which also cuts just barely evenly, and that's about an inch and something, I forget. And then I made this one 2 inches. That's why it's a smaller piece now. And I think I did have a scrap of another one, and I don't know. Well, I'll just tell you what it is when we get there. So I made four bookmarks. So this is the first one. It's a pretty standard bookmark. It is on that shiny, and I didn't ink it or anything on the back. This ribbon is also Stampin' Up Starry Sky, thin ribbon, and I just put a little tiny bit behind this little tag, like a tea bag tag, hanging down from where that is. The other ones I did a little different. Let's see, I think actually the lemons were the first one. I was watching some video, I don't remember where it was or who it was exactly. This is also on the shiny. I did ink around the edges with Daffodil Delight ink, but you could use any kind of distress ink or whatever. And I thought, I want something to dangle outside the book. So I have this book here that I pulled off my shelf that I've probably used or read like 8 or 10 years ago. Anyway, so yeah, it just has a little something dangling off the edge. So I kind of like that. And what I did here is I stamped these in Daffodil Delight on white, die cut them, and then I die cut again with the Daffodil Delight cardstock, and I just glued them together. And I glued this Dollar Tree twine. Comes in this kind of a pack, crafter square, the yellow. Thankfully I remembered I had that. I'm sorry for advertising that book. I'm not really. Anyway, there, that's the first one. Then the next one was this one, and what I did is I stamped with Starry Sky ink on Tahitian Tide, which is like a turquoise, and before I glued them together, I took a little piece of the, maybe a little too long, of the Starry Sky ribbon and tucked it behind this It's Time for Tea, which is colored in Tahitian Tide and stamped in Starry Sky. Word of advice, in color in the background if you're going to do that, because the stamp for the tag only stamps the outline. So if you want it colored, either stamp it on colored paper or color in the background before you stamp, because when I use the alcohol markers to go over the sentiment, it kind of blurred it a little bit, but it's okay. I don't care. And then I just tied this one. Now this one's a little shorter. Where's my book? Let's try it. I was playing around with the length, and I'm not sure which one I like, but all the tags are, see, I don't have any design on the background. All the tags are 6 inches. I kind of like that length a little better. It doesn't go down quite so far, but the tags are 6 inches. I should have brought my Bible out instead or something. And then this one, I think, no, it doesn't have anything. Aren't they pretty? I just love those teapots. And then the last one is this one. Now this was a scrap piece of paper, and I don't think I had to cut, I think I had to trim it about 1/8 of an inch. I think this is 1.5 inches. Oh, I see, I missed, I should have trimmed the bottom a little bit too. Anyway, this is Sweet Sorbet color and ribbon. Here I stamped in Starry Sky, but I colored it in Parakeet Party, which is that green. And I had the little tag, and this time I just wrapped a tiny little piece of the ribbon around and in between Sweet Sorbet and this for the tea bag. And I put the It's Time for Tea on the tag instead of on the cup. Now that one is much longer, so I don't know, I might, well, it's too long, too late to take it apart. That one's the longest. This is the second longest, and then this is the third longest one, and this doesn't have a dangle. So let me get rid of the book, because I'm really not trying to advertise a book. I just grabbed it off my shelf. And so, yeah, I hope you like my little bookmarks. They're not really too scrappy-rappy, I guess, but still, something different. I was just playing around. I could shorten this up here, I think. Like, cut that and shorten. I might do that. Same with this one. I might cut it a little bit and just have it dangle to about there on the outside of the book. I don't know. What do you think? Should I shorten them? Because they kind of flip-floppy around a lot if I don't. I was also thinking of laminating them, but I decided not to. Yeah, they're just something fun. And honestly, a lot of people nowadays aren't using book. Oh, this one, I did ink around the edges with Starry Sky, but I was getting it all over me and everything else. I decided this one seemed, for some reason, this one seemed too flimsy with the big cup hanging off. So I backed it with Starry Sky also. There's still a little ink around the edges, but this one's okay. I mean, it's not too heavy with the cup hanging down. It's just too long. But I think they're pretty. Let me know what you think. And would you use something like this? Or do you read electronic books, ebooks now, or yeah, I guess just ebooks. I have not ever read an ebook. My friend does, but she has a tablet that she takes to the gym, and I can't read while I'm on a treadmill. I'm just sorry, I can't do it, but she does. So anyway, there we go. Thank you so much for watching. Please go check out Maria and everyone else. I'm sure they did a better job of using scraps. Yeah. And I actually was putting stuff away, and I found I have 2 scrap bins which have some Stampin' Up! Paper in and some non-Stampin' Up! Paper in. So that had to be before the way I'm keeping scraps with my papers now. Anyway. Alright guys, thank you. Bye.